Is Joe Biden about to announce that Susan Rice is going to be his vice presidential running mate in the 2020 election? If you look at the DNC, the Democratic National Convention speakers list and schedule, it might be hinting just that. A lot of people have been noting that the favorites at this point seem to be Kamala Harris and Susan Rice. Many others like Karen Bass, Val Demings, some other folks as well have been mentioned, but those two seem to be at the top of the list. And if you looked at prediction markets, they were clearly at the top. But when the schedule for the DNC's convention came out earlier today, it noted from Monday to Thursday, a couple dozen speakers. There's some awful choices like John Kasich on there. There's some good choices like Bernie Sanders and AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But one thing to note is that Susan Rice isn't on the list, but there is an open slot for the vice presidential nominee. They're not named, but it's on the Wednesday night right before Barack Obama is scheduled to speak. And then Joe Biden is scheduled to speak on the Thursday, right at the end of the convention, basically closing it out. And right before him and his family is Kamala Harris. And so a lot of people are suggesting that this might rule out Kamala Harris. And if you look at the prediction markets, and they're moving a lot right now. This is basically people betting on who the VP nominee is going to be, but you see massive movement downward for a lot of the choices that are listed on the schedule. Harris, Warren, Whitmer, a lot of these names are given slots on the schedule, indicating, at least in some people's minds, that they're not going to be the VP. And then you also have some pretty substantial upward movement for Susan Rice, who now, again, as of recording, again, things are fluctuating, has a 10-cent lead over Kamala Harris, and Val Demings, still in a distant third, has spiked up quite a bit because she's not on the schedule either. She's relatively unknown compared to a lot of people on the schedule, but some folks may have assumed that, she is growing in prominence, and if she was important enough to be considered, why isn't she on the speaker schedule? It may well be her. And so all of this is lining people up to the idea that Biden's going to pick Susan Rice. And that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not saying I'm 100% sold, but she is an African-American woman. She's relatively young. She's in her mid-50s. She's somebody that likely has the same ideological positions as Biden. Biden worked with her during the Obama administration. She was the ambassador to the UN, and in general was a trusted voice within the Obama-Biden administration. I think when you add that all up, it's definitely someone he's considering. The big caveat with her is that we don't know a whole lot about her as a politician, because she's not one. She's basically a career bureaucrat and a career diplomat. We don't know a whole lot about Susan Rice, and she's never held any sort of significant elected office. And the only president to have never held an elected office or be a senior military figure was Donald Trump, and that's an awful experiment for the country. So there may be worries with picking someone like Susan Rice, saying, look, not only do we not know a whole lot about her, not only has she not been publicly vetted, not only does she not hold and has never held any kind of real elected office, the people have never chosen her, but because Biden's so old, because we have severe concerns about his cognitive health, because I think a lot of people are assuming that Biden won't run again after his first term if he gets to be president, then his VP choice is in effect being put forward as the 2024 frontrunner if Biden wins. And it's especially important we know who this person is, even more than past VPs. When Biden was selected by Obama, Obama was a young, healthy guy. Everyone assumed that if you picked Obama, he was going to be the guy for 4 years and then be the party's nominee for the last 4. This time it's different, especially given all we know about Biden. And whether some of those facts are fair or not, it's in the public mindset. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I think she's clearly a bright woman. She's far too neoliberal for me. She's, enacted and perpetuated and solidified American imperialism. So I don't see her as an ally of working people, of racialized people at home or abroad. But is she worse than some of the other people on the list? I mean, I don't know. Is she worse than Kamala Harris? Maybe she's in the same ballpark. And I wouldn't necessarily at this stage give up on Kamala Harris being the nominee. I kind of think it's between those two. Maybe Val Demings is a distant dark horse. But Kamala Harris being right before the Biden family and Biden himself could be a sign that she'll be speaking twice. That she'll be speaking to accept the nomination on the Wednesday, and then on the Thursday, we'll have a speaking slot dedicated to sort of introducing Biden, his family, and sort of leading in to the final speech to say, here's the vice president before the president. And I think that's a reasonable assumption to make. So, Susan Rice, for the first time maybe ever, has taken a clear favorite position over Kamala Harris. It's a sign that Biden may be looking to work with somebody that was in his former personal inner circle with Barack Obama. It could be a sign that he's not worried about her elected experience, but the fact of the matter is, no matter who he chooses, there's going to be a lot of questions about how someone like Kamala Harris or Val Demings or Susan Rice will actually unite the progressive base of the party. That's going to be the question, almost certainly, unless he picks Nina Turner, that's going to come out of this convention. And it doesn't matter who he picks from his top frontrunners.